Welcome to the very first episode of Pineapples and Thorns. In this episode, we introduce ourselves and experience all the trials and tribulations of coordinating a podcast. We hope you enjoy the show, including all of our stumbles.
Guess I'm ready for war, like I've been here before. Feel the sweat on my hands, it's time to play Clash of Clans. Training my troops up to fight, it's gonna be a long night. Toss and turn in the dark, soon the fighting will start. I wanna be a barbarian, I wanna live the life they lead. Standing tall, smashing walls, doing whatever it takes to succeed. I wanna be a barbarian, like I'm never coming back. Ready for war, thirsty for more, leaving all fear and regrets.
Welcome everybody to our very first Pineapples and Thorns podcast. We're so happy that you actually decided to listen to the four of us. We have Rusty, Cat, Butters, Tip Dog. And as we were trying to come up with a name, one of the names that we thought about coming up with was Rusty Cat Butters the Tip. But I don't know if that's a good name or not. And I think Pineapples and Thorns is much better. A little more clean, definitely. We want to go ahead and introduce ourselves to you first, if that's okay. Guys, if you would, give me an idea of who you are, how long you've played Clash, your town hall levels, maybe a little bit of Clash history about you. Kat, do you want to go ahead and start us off?
Sure. I'm Kat. I am leader at Red Thorn. I'm also co-leader at Kent Greenhouse. I'm playing also in a couple of other clans. My Town Hall 13 is Max, and that's over at Red Thorn. My 11 is in KGH right now. I have an upgrading 12 that's kind of floating around. And a mini 13 that I'm also upgrading. And I've been playing probably, close to 6 years now.
6 years. So you got in about 2015?
Just end of 2014, I think it was.
Okay, so you were right before Clan Wars started then.
I think it had just started.
Okay,
so I had no idea what the game was about when I started playing it.
Yeah. Butters, what about you?
I'm Butters. I have a max 8, a max 11, a max 12, 11.68. New 12, just upgrading. Been playing, I really don't know, 5-6 years. I started off where a few years I just farmed. That's all I did was farm and do this. So hop on every once in a while. And then I got into a clan and made my way to KGH, a little bit more serious clan. Kind of stayed. And I guess.
I think we might have lost him. Yeah. Rusty, you want to take over real quick?
Yeah, sure. I don't mind. So one thing actually Butters did forget to mention was that he is the leader of the Pineapple Hotel. So that's something he should mention. It's poor doing on his behalf there. But so anyways, I'm Rusty or Uncle Rico or Mike Hunt, depending on which clan you know me in. I'm the leader of Kent Greenhouse, and I am a co-leader at Noble Hero. I have 2 max 13s, one at Noble Hero and one at KGH. And I have a 12 and an 11 and a 10 and an 8, and I think that's it. Oh, and a donating account. So anyways, so that's about me. I started playing in 2015. Yeah,
Before or after Clan Wars?
After, but before the Dark Spell Factory and Air Sweepers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're talking 45 minutes for a hound, half an hour for a drag, that sort of stuff. So, good times.
Yeah, definitely give some context. So I'm Tip Dog 20 in game. I also have Board Cube, and I have a third account that's a Town Hall 10. Board Cube is a Town Hall 11. Tip Dog 20 is about a 75% Town Hall 12. So I'd say I got another couple months before I get max on that. I too have been playing since 2014, 2015. I started in May just after Clan Wars. I had a friend who said, "Oh my gosh, Clan Wars is the most amazing thing in the entire history of mobile gaming. You should play it." I saw a few commercials on TV and I decided I was going to pick it up. I'm currently in Red Thorn. And one thing that I forgot to add is this is just an extension of the Clash Files. The Clash Files actually has a family of clans where there's lots of cool people who do lots of fun and cool things in a Discord server. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along. But we wanted to kind of first introduce ourselves so that people can kind of get an idea of what we're looking for. And Rusty, can you kind of give us an idea of what the podcast will do going forward?
Yeah. So basically, we're looking to, discuss all things Clash, essentially, and have a good time and talk strategy, speculate when we think there's going to be updates, talk about what's been going on recently, just all that sort of stuff. Basically, continue on what, if you're familiar with the old KGH podcast used to do, and, incorporate our new lovely Red Thorn friends and keep going. So I couldn't agree more.
Mm-hmm. Kat's a little more lovely than I am, I have to admit.
Couldn't tell you.
So
Don't
how
care.
did you guys do in the most recent Supercell CWL?
I'm back, by the way.
Butters is back.
I'm not sure when I got lost. I was just rambling, and then all of a sudden I heard nothing.
It's sort of like a
So
conversation with your wife,
I'm
right?
not sure where I went wrong. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I don't know how she does it.
So Rusty added the fact that you were the leader of a clan. Do you want to give any more details about that?
Yeah, leader of little old PH. It's a nice little resting spot for alts, and when your heroes are down, a chance to war and not worry about really winning the war, or it's just kind of a chance to still do your attacks, get some loot, and it doesn't matter if your heroes are upgrading or it's an alt. So just a little relaxed place, perfect for an old guy like me.
So you've been playing for quite a while. Were you pre-Clan Wars or post-Clan Wars?
You know what? I don't know. When I got really into it and I saw, I don't know, a posting, I think it was on Facebook about a clan, I was just farming for a couple of years. I would just farm all the way up to, I was Town Hall 9. And when I joined the clan, I didn't have any of my dark troops because really they were kind of useless for farming. And so I didn't even have really dark troops upgraded. So it was really.
So when did you start to get into Clan Wars and that arena?
Geez, it's probably 16, 17, but that's a guess. I don't know. Each year tends to blur.
Kat was saying that you're a beast when it comes to witches, so you
Yeah.
might have a little bit of experience when it comes
Yeah.
to that, which I definitely want to discuss.
Yeah, my monkey does most of my attacks, but yeah, witches and me, we get along well.
We will definitely get into that in a little bit. So what is your guys' experience with OG podcasts? So obviously we're an extension of the Clash Files, but the Clash Files had multiple podcasts within their Clash family. I know that we had the original OG Clash of Clans podcast with Scotty and Boneyard. We were talking earlier. There was the Bye Forever podcast. There was One Hive Tate Saturday Night Hive podcast. There was Clash Cast with Illness. What do you guys have any other experience with OG podcasts?
See, well, there was Jezza had a podcast going for a while called The Dead or Alive.
Yeah,
and that was a lot of fun.
The original also,
and then there was KGH, of course.
KGH.
Clash Files podcast.
And then there's a couple new ones.
Even not the very original, but then the one that carried on with Halligan and all those guys, Halligan and Ran.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I think Halligan and Ran and Nat
was
and
not
Coop were the
Natalia
original
on
Clash
there as
Files
well.
podcast group, right?
And
yeah, Natalia. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's podcast. Let's talk a little bit about YouTubers, because one of the things that we want to offer listeners is the opportunity to get better at Clash, whether that's better at farming, whether that's better at Clan Wars, better at attacking, better at base building. We want to bring topics that are worthy of discussion. And YouTubers are an excellent resource that I utilize a lot. Some of my favorite YouTubers that I watch right now, One Hive with Eric, Judo Sloth, Lex Nose, Carbon Fin Gaming. Do you guys have any suggestions that we can talk about real quick?
I watch what Kat posts. So any of any of the videos that Cat posts, I'll usually watch them. But to be honest, I don't watch a lot of the YouTubers. I'll just watch the attack a little bit, and then I'm
So,
try
like,
to
is
hammer
Galadon
it in an
still posting
FC
on
just
YouTube,
over and over and
or
over again.
no? Oh, there.
Yeah,
So Galadon is, yeah. I just watched one of his videos today because it had a tagline of why I have not quit Clash of Clans, because he's been one of the longest long-term creators.
Yep.
He's been there since what, 2013, 2014, something like that.
yeah, long time. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Kat, do you have anybody?
Like I'm always on sort of like on the lookout for content, thinking people in KGH, because KGH is a teaching clan, and looking for content for that will sort of help people learn some strategies. So I found Echo's been putting out some stuff. He likes to post stuff for Town Hall 9 and even lower. There's a few YouTubers that are posting some Town Hall 8 content, even, just rediscovering the fun of the lower Town Hall levels, which is really nice to see. If you're looking for, Town Hall 13 content, there's usually a ton of stuff out there like Deja Vu and Sir Moose and Corrupt and people like that. And then, of course, there's like tons of streamers that, if you're really interested in really high level play, that you can tune into and watch some of the ESL stuff.
I'm really surprised that there's not more content at the lower level, because from my understanding, the majority of players play below Town Hall 13. Only a minor percentage have actually made it to that level, but yet it seems like all the content is kind of directed towards Town Hall 13. In fact, most of the stuff that I watch is Town Hall 13, and I'm not going to be at Town Hall 13 for quite a while, most likely.
Yeah, it's out there. You have to sort of dig for it, and some of it's old, but for Town Hall 9 and lower, a lot of even the older content is still relevant. If you go back to even to Jake and those guys, like the stuff that they posted is still relevant today.
Yeah, I would say that Jake's How to Drag Loon video would definitely still apply to today. I think that was at Town Hall 8, if I remember right. One of my first videos that I watched, because I knew that there had to be a way to 3-star. I knew that there had to be a better way of attacking, and I ran across his YouTube channel back in 2015, and How to Drag Loon. That was one thing that really, got me to that level where I could actually 3-star a base and not just 2-star, because we all know that 2 stars don't win wars.
Yeah, sometimes it does,
Sometimes, I guess, maybe high percentage 2 stars.
High percentage 2 stars in SCCWL.
In a lot of cases. Well, good. I still remember some of the oldies. I remember Molt. That's who we were making fun of. The 2 stars win wards dude. Clash with Daddy. Godson. I think Godson still puts out some content from time to time. There were a few videos that I remember watching and he's just a funny content creator. Powerbang was a big YouTuber that I used to watch a lot, but I know he jumped ship over to PUBG, and he's been there for quite a while. Clash with Ash jumped over to Clash Royale. I don't know that he does any Clash of Clans content anymore. Trying to think if there's anybody else that I'm missing who I used to watch. I know that I'm definitely the type of person that if I have the choice between an NFL Sunday ticket game or a live stream by a Clash of Clans live streamer, I'm going to watch the Clash of Clans live stream every single time. But that's just me, and I consider myself quite the nerd. So I don't know about you guys.
Oh yeah, I mean,
no, I'd consider that to be quite the nerd too.
Well, and we fit in pretty well, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, if I know there's like some different league wars going on and they're being streamed, or ESL, I enjoy watching that, because I just enjoy watching that level of play.
Some of the stuff that they do. I mean, like I just watched a queen charge with invisibility spells that had no healers. Took the queen all the way to the center of the base with 5 or 6 invisibility spells. I mean, who thinks of stuff like that, right? So I don't know that I'll ever be able to do something like that myself in war, but it's cool to watch and it's fun to watch.
But if you pick up something from there that, say, well, maybe I'll try that, and you might surprise yourself, right? You're still picking up ideas, even if, you're not going to be playing quite at that level.
So if you pinpointed 1 or 2 content creators that people could watch and learn, who would you recommend? For me, I'll start off. I think the best live streamer that I really enjoy watching, and I've watched a lot of them, but One Hive Eric, just He really he not only knows his content, but his excitement while he's watching the stream. Sometimes I'm watching it on my tablet. My wife will walk in the room and she'll be like, "Oh, are you watching the football game, or are you watching the soccer game or the basketball game?" Because he's just absolutely going crazy on the stream when somebody does a really cool move or drops a spell exactly where it needs to be. He really does it for me as far as live stream goes. If you're talking about more individual instruction videos on specific attack strategies, I really like Lexnos. And then a guy that I've watched, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of him or not, but he doesn't necessarily do a lot of war attack stuff, but he does a lot of base building, not necessarily base building in the form of war bases, but in what to upgrade first in your base, how to farm, appropriate upgrade order, things like that, is a guy named Kenny Joe. Have you heard of him at all?
No, I haven't heard of him. I'll have to check him out.
He's interesting. Yeah, check him out. Rusty, you have anybody that you watch on a regular basis?
I used to watch Clash of
You lose
Ash.
Rusty?
Yeah, I think he cut out.
Uh-oh.
Butters, you have anybody you watch on a regular basis?
No, I don't mind Eric. Eric's actually pretty entertaining. He gets pretty excited. So like you were saying, he's fun. He's fun to watch, but I typically, I don't have the attention span to watch 20 minutes of it. So the 6-minute recap videos where he's showing OP attacks, that usually does well for me.
So you just watch the thumbnail. Watch the thumbnail, get the 30 seconds over with, and then you're done.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. What? And then go hammer it on an FC.
That's what she said.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Not 30 seconds.
Like,
good.
Well, to me, yes.
Another content creator that I'm really fond of. That sounds like that's anyway. Somebody that I really like is Judo Sloth. If Judo Sloth ever listens to this podcast, which he most likely will not, if he hears that I'm fond of him, that might be a little odd. But somebody that I really like is Judo Sloth, and he had an interview a couple weeks ago with the community manager at Supercell, a guy named Darian. Kat, I think you had a chance to watch that, right?
Yeah, I watched that. It was actually pretty interesting. A lot of different insights on what's happening over at Supercell, and the different ways that they try and bounce ideas off the different creative teams that they have. And it sounds like quite the large team that works on Clash of Clans.
I think one interesting thing that I learned from the video was how I wouldn't say disjointed, but it seems like there's almost a wall between a lot of the different portions of the Clash of Clans team. So he was saying that he'll bring something to this team and they'll shoot it down, or he'll talk to this team and they'll shoot it down. So it almost seems like either they're a very large team or they almost have silos around them in terms of bouncing off ideas, what they can do, what they can't do, coding wise. Yeah. He did go into some pretty good detail about that. But one of the things that they discussed was Town Hall 14. They did say that it's likely to come out, and it will be coming out in 2021, but they did not know when. I've been reading on the forums and in Reddit, and there are some people who think it's going to come out as early as April, which would put it less than 30 days. And then there's some people who have been saying June all along. Again, other people are saying December, just because at this point there tends to be about 2 years between town halls. Yeah. And Town Hall 13 was a little over a year ago. So I don't know. Do you have any inkling on when you think it might come out?
Well, one thing that I heard him say was that, they had said roughly about every 18 months, and he says it's been almost 18 months now. So I would expect it. I think probably like April, May-ish is what.
Okay, so
isn't April usually a big release?
I think May.
Rusty, usually. What do you think?
Not usually, I should say, but
I don't know about April. I think we might have lost Rusty, but I don't know. It seems like, unless, to me, I would think the reason to come out with a town hall is because the community is seeing a dip in interest, and maybe it is. I've only been back to the game for about 3 or 4 months, so to me everything is super new, everything is super interesting, and so I don't see the dip. I don't experience the dip. I mean, we have a bunch of new podcasts coming out. It seems like live streams and YouTubes are going crazy. So for me, it doesn't seem right. Like, it doesn't feel right. I'm not experiencing that slowdown like I did in the past. For example, the first time I played the game for about 3 years, and then I left right after Town Hall 11 came out. And so I had no experience with Town Hall 12 coming out or Town Hall 13 coming out, but I definitely felt that dip in interest. I had a lot of clanmates, a lot of friends who were like, I'm done with the game. It's so stale. I don't find any interest anymore. And then that's when they came out with Town Hall 11. Unfortunately for me, it wasn't enough to keep me in the game, but I don't experience that as much now. Maybe I'm just looking at it from a different perspective. Kat, you've been in the game for quite a while. Have you experienced a disinterest among players in your clan, or maybe Butters in your clan?
I think some of the more competitive players have kind of lost interest in the game somewhat. Like there's no challenge for them. Like they're max. There's nothing for them to farm.
And I think one portion that a lot of us forget is that the game is not just clan wars. It's not just 3-starring in clan wars. It's not just Supercell CWL. That there's a whole user base who's only there for farming. I mean, that's the main point and the reason why they play. And that's the reason, for example, why a YouTuber like Kenny Joe can have such a big audience, because there's a lot of people out there who want to know if they should upgrade their barracks first or if they should upgrade their gold mine. I mean, which one should I do? And he does a really great job of explaining that. But yeah, I guess they would know more based on the forums and on the discussion panels. Maybe they can judge it by YouTube comments. I mean, I don't know. But to me, it just doesn't seem like the dip is here yet. And I think that maybe for me, the earliest would probably be June or July. And if it's not then...
Yeah, don't they usually break in the summer, though? Like, yes.
Are they in one of those European countries that takes a whole month off?
Yeah, Finland, yeah.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
We don't do that here in the United States. Do they do that in Canada?
No, not quite.
Actually, something I was going to throw in, there was a kind of an interesting point. So here in the United States, our Senate, our Congress, our Senate and House of Representatives just passed a huge stimulus package. And as long as you make below a certain amount, every American is going to be receiving $1,400 here in the next week or 2 weeks. And I decided to go ahead and figure out how much $1,400 will buy in gems for every single clasher. So just in case you wanted to know, if you would like to spend your $1,400 stimulus package next week on Clash of Clans gems, it will buy you 196,000 gems. Just a little bit of FYI.
That's a pretty good deal.
Makes me wish I was American.
Butters, where are you from?
I'm from Canada, Ontario specifically. London.
You guys are
London,
missing
Ontario,
out. You
Canada.
should live in the States.
I don't want any.
Ooh, no, thank you. So, an example, you guys got the $1,400 check. If you were off as a Canadian, you got 1,000 every 2 weeks. As long as you were off, the government sent you $1,000 every 2 weeks. So, ooh. Not for me to spend, and maybe get to be a max 13.
But you don't seem like one of those clashers that the moment the next town hall comes out, you gem it right up. No.
No, I usually wait till it's out a while and buy the next town hall.
Wait, you buy it from somebody off like a market, or?
So yeah, usually that's why I shouldn't say
that
usually.
Is interesting.
I've done it once.
I've never done anything like that. I've never really considered it. Honestly, I've always been scared. I'm going to get a bogus account, or I'm going to pay. I don't know how much they're running for right now, but I'm going to pay $100 for a max town hall 11, and that it ends up they gave me the wrong password. I don't know. How did you do that? That's interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it on a site or anything advertised any other. If it wasn't through a trusted person that's in the game and had an extra town hall, it's really how I came across mine. So I wouldn't trust a marketplace anyways. That's just kind of my nature. So the only reason I did it because it was a trusted person that part of the family, and I know isn't playing that account anymore.
That's cool. So Butters, what do you think Town Hall 14 will look like once it does come out? Do you have any ideations?
You know what? I have no clue, but you knew it was coming, right? With the way they were kind of making other town halls, making you kind of upgrade. The onus in the game is to really upgrade. So you kind of knew 14 was coming, but yeah, it'll be
definitely.
interesting to
Do you
see
think
what
that
it's
going
going
to
to
come with a
bring.
weapon? Well, I don't know. I mean,
It has
that's
to,
the big
doesn't it?
question, right?
It's got to come up with something. Every town hall's got something special usually. So whether it was Eagle, whether it was what was 12, the town hall, both town halls on the 12 and the 13. So I would think
Something,
there's
but
got to be
do you think
something.
the community expects a weapon, a weaponized town hall at this point?
I think they sort of have to. You can't not have a town hall that has a
Rusty,
weapon at this point now for the hires. It'd be like it'd be so easy almost in a way because you're so used to having to deal with
Did we
damage.
lose them again?
I can hear him.
Yeah, I can hear Rusty.
I can't for some reason. Yeah, now I can. Yeah, better now. Yeah.
Better now.
All right, we ready? We were talking about Town Hall 14, whether or
Okay,
not it'd be
where were we?
weaponized.
Town Hall 14?
And Rusty was going to give us an answer on if he thinks it should be and what he think it might be if it is weaponized.
Well, I'm pretty sure I did give an answer, but you just couldn't hear it.
I'm sure it was long and illustrious, and
Which is
you
that's
had
what
such a
she
sexy
said,
voice.
by the way.
And wait, is that about you or about
Yeah,
Butters?
I don't know. Hey yo.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah, so I
hey.
think basically at this point for Town Hall 14, it has to have a weapon. It can't not. You can't go 12 and 13 that have these weapons and that require so much troop space to take the town hall down, and then not have the town hall have some sort of weapon or something, because then you essentially are adding extra troop space, and it would make it easier to 3-star, because it'd be like adding extra troop space essentially if you don't have a weapon.
So what if it wasn't a weapon, and what if, say, it was maybe something like a shield? So any defenses within a certain range of the town hall got a 50% boost in defensive capability or something like that.
Ooh.
I mean, so it's not necessarily a weapon.
That would be interesting.
But I guess it still kind of fits the qualifications so that people who are expecting the town hall to be something rather than just a glorified storage will still get their wish and their desire.
What about if they made the hound an ice hound? What if they made the Giga shooting instead of shooting lava, and it might shoot like
so
ice
like a
beam
freeze
or
Giga Tesla or something like that.
Things coming, or slowing things down
or
as they approach the town hall type of thing.
It could like emit an aura at a certain point, and there's this almost like a spell range, maybe a little bit bigger, maybe double spell range, where any troops that come within that spell range automatically slow down, I don't know, 50%. And it would be interesting if they did something like that, or maybe it's the defenses if they had a limit on how many troops it affected, or a limit on how many defenses it would boost. I mean, would we start seeing base building where you just had defenses packed around the town hall? Or if you rush the town hall with a bunch of troops, then it wouldn't affect half of them. I mean, I don't know, just throwing some stuff out there. I know that some people have talked about like a Giga Expo. So an Expo that basically covers the entire map.
Yeah, I know he was kind of like mentioning that in the interview a little bit, like kind of just speculating, like, people are throwing things out in the forum about a Giga Scattershot or a Giga Expo, but he wouldn't give any yes or no on any of that stuff. He was
maybe
very
an
cryptic
Expo
about
that
it all.
shoots ice chips or ice. I don't know what you call them. And when it hits defenders, it automatically slows them down. Kind of like an ice golem, right? So when an ice golem hits a defense, it automatically slows it down by a certain percentage. Maybe it does the same thing, except to offensive troops.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at a lot of their ideas, they kind of tend to take things from either Clash Royale or the builder base and kind of modify things. Like, I mean, there is a Giga Tesla over on the builder base. And so to my way of thinking, they took that and adapted it to the town hall. So, you might want to look for ideas, what kind of things
there could be something along the lines of like the lava launcher
perhaps bring
kind
in
of deal. Or
that's true.
Something like
that's
that,
true.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I also wonder too if
maybe
I don't know how it would work, but do you think there'd be a way like they've introduced the invisible spell. So do you think that there's some sort of thing basically where they would institute that but defensively, so that, you know, if you destroy Town Hall 14, it then makes any defenses within a certain range around it invisible, so that they can still do damage to you, but you can't do damage to them?
Mm-hmm.
That's super interesting. So I think that's super interesting if it came out, and I did want to talk about this a little bit later. But with the advent of any new town hall, they always come out with typically new defenses or new troops as a possibility, and that would be really cool as a new trap. A trap that when you hit it, it automatically makes a certain portion of that area where the trap hits invisible. So let's say that there's an air defense that you want a queen to go after.
Mm-hmm.
And once the queen steps into that invisibility trap, it automatically cloaks the air defense, and the queen gets pulled off to the archer tower that's off to the east, and completely misses the air defense because of the invisibility trap. No, that's something that's super cool. Now that we've already talked about it, I had the idea actually too of a trap being unbreakable wall. So maybe it would obviously have to be more than just one section, but maybe 5 or 6 pieces of a wall that were just indestructible. And if let's say that, you know, a troop pounded on it, as soon as they pounded on it, then the coding could be written so that they would realize, oh, this is the unbreakable wall. I'm going to walk around it, or I'm going to go to where it is breakable and break through there. But let's say that you wanted to send in a wall breaker on that wall, and you sent it in thinking that it would automatically destroy it, and your wall breaker just did absolutely nothing, because your wall breaker is not going to know until it hits it, but it doesn't hit it until it actually goes off. I don't know. That was an idea that I had too. Do you guys have any ideas for what new weapons or new troops that might come out with the new town hall?
Really new weapons. I know Darian was talking about, you know, that they kind of like the idea of introducing new super troops because people are familiar with the basic troops. So when they introduce a super troop, it has an enhanced ability, but it's not completely unfamiliar. So I think we'll see more super troops. And I think what he was saying is that their goal is to eventually have every troop.
So what do you think? What do you think the Hog Rider super troop is going to be?
So
it's going to be the Hog Glider. There's no question about it. I mean, it is what it is. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's probably the coolest troop.
Me and Kat were talking the other night. I didn't even know that it existed. I've been involved with this game since 2014. I don't even know when it came out. But she said, "Oh yeah, I used the Hog Glider on my builder base." And I'm like, "What? What is a Hog Glider? What are you talking about?" She's like, "Go check it out."
You've heard the term "when pigs fly," right?
Wait, there's a Hog Glider?
Only if you're on builder base.
What
Builderman house
base? What's that?
The little boat.
Oh,
it's not there.
We don't talk about
that. Well, actually, seeing as though we are talking about it, one thing that we had written down in our spoiler alert show notes that we have was that there isn't going to be any updates to the Builderman house for Town Hall 14, which I think makes like the third or fourth straight update. So I mean, thank God, it seems like they've finally pulled the plug on that and given up 100%. Yeah. Well, they're still including it, but there hasn't been any updates, and they've even omitted builder base from what you call it, from updates, like from maintenance breaks. It doesn't affect it because they know that they're not going to do anything to it, which is friggin' sweet.
That's interesting. So whenever you have the little timer that pops up on my tablet that says maintenance break, 10 minutes, then you can go over to the builder base and play and attack.
But your upgrades, if you're doing anything, they don't pause. They continue to go. Okay. So if they do 2 hours worth of maintenance breaks, your Clash of Clans main base account, it will pause and the upgrades won't go. But for builder base, thankfully our upgrades will be able to get done because it's a rush to get those maxed.
Yeah, and I'm so ready.
But if nothing else, with builder base,
for sure. It's a lifesaver when you're at a Town Hall 13.
Yeah.
But the time you gotta put to do it, I'll jam and go without a
I
save
really
all
think
the
that
time.
that's the only reason why they added that was to get people to play the builder base. I mean, I don't think anybody was playing it.
Mhm.
I think they had high aspirations. So, in my opinion, I think that the current esports, what's happening, where you have a short period of time to attack, you can adjust your troops really quickly. I think that's what they had in mind for builder base. They wanted some type of head-to-head combat that could be streamed, that was super exciting, where you looked at a base, you had 30. I think you have a minute, right? You have a minute to attack, adjust your troop and your plan on the builder base, and you can adjust your troops
so.
and you can just attack it on the fly. And then they'd have this huge esports arena around that. But I just don't think people were interested. Honestly, it doesn't fancy my interest, at least.
No, but in all seriousness, I like to bash
Yeah, I
on
mean,
Not mine either.
Builderman House as much as anybody. It has
Builderman House.
gotten, sorry, that's a throwback to the KGH podcast of 2 years ago. But anyways, yeah, it has helped Clash get to where we are right now. Like the main base, we wouldn't be in a good spot where we are without
Mhm.
a lot of the missteps or things that they've instituted in the Builderman House and tried to get it to really click. But it did help us get to where we are, which is kind of nice. So
I credit them for trying. They tried something.
Yep.
It didn't work, in my opinion, but at least they tried. They just didn't say, okay, we're just continue to do the same old thing. We tried something.
But
Like Rusty
well,
said,
and
some
actually,
good stuff did
so what
come out of
I
it.
have a
He's a little
concept
more
of what's going to
positive
come
than
out
I
with
am.
Town Hall
Yeah,
14
I mean,
is
I
they're
think
actually going to
They
institute
tried.
dark side clan war leagues. I'm just
That's
kidding. That's if they do
interesting.
that, I'll quit. No,
No. Like,
no, they already said they're not going to
let's
institute
flesh that
anything,
out a
though.
little bit.
They're not going to. They already said they're not going to.
yeah.
Well, so they did talk
Yeah,
about clan wars a little bit,
Yeah.
clan war leagues, and Darian said that they worked on CWL for 2 years before they actually implemented it. So if they're going to make any changes to CWL, for instance, there were some suggestions brought up where you need to have a Town Hall 9 specific CWL, Town Hall 10 specific CWL, 11, 12, 13, kind of how these community leagues are run, like the Queso Cup and Black Widow and the Clash Cup and all of those, but actually have an official sanctioned by Supercell Town Hall specific clan war
That
league.
would be amazing, and it would also be the only way that the Supercell clan war leagues would be worth anybody's time, unless you're in a max clan. But like for KGH, it's not. It's a waste of our time, essentially. I mean, everyone likes it because you get the medals, but like one month we crush everybody, and then the next month we get crushed because we moved up, and then we move back, we moved up, we move back, we move up. It's the same thing. So if you could institute it so we can pick which town hall we're actually competing at, it would be amazing. I love the format, the 1 day, one attack, like that's awesome. The fact that you get stuck against like a bunch of rushed 13s when you go in with like a bunch of 9s and 10s, like even though those bases are just, you could crush them with your eyes closed with another 13, you can't do it with one of your lower town halls. Like it's just not possible, right? So if they could do it so you actually get fair matchups, whether it's town hall specific or just fair matchups, anything, that would be amazing. I would love it. Like that would be the best thing that they could do in my opinion.
Well, Darian did kind of address that a little bit whenever he was talking to Judo Sloth, and he said he said he doesn't like to call it unfair matchups. It's more of it's more based on the fact that if you have a town or a clan of Town Hall 11s and Town Hall 12s, and you're really good and you move up in the rankings of CWL and you're in whatever, you reach, champs 1 or whatever you reach, and then he has a really bad Town Hall 13 clan, and they're so bad that they go down to whatever level it is that your Town Hall 11, Town Hall 12 went up to. He's like, that's not a mismatch. It's just the Town Hall 11, Town Hall 12 clan has gotten up as far as they're going to go. The Town Hall 13 clan has basically gone as low as they're going to go. He's like, so he said, don't consider it a mismatch. Just consider it that's the way that it's set up.
But they've set it up as if as to be a maxer event. Like you're only going to be able to be
Right.
competitive if you're a maxer. There's no way, and they don't want anyone to be competitive in it to be able to reach the high leagues unless you're all Town Hall 13 clan. That's just the way it's designed.
Right. Well, and the point is, it's all about. I mean, let's just be honest. It's all about money, right? And if they implemented a town hall specific CWL system, then that would not give people incentive to upgrade. So right now, the current Supercell CWL system encourages people to get to Town Hall 13 and max out their Town Hall 13 as quickly as possible, because as they do that, they're going to automatically move up in the rankings just based on the fact that their defenses are going to get better. So even if you're a completely crappy offensive player, you can spam dragons against all the Town Hall 11s and Town Hall 12s that you're fighting, or witches in Butter's case. Just spam them out there, and you're going to do decent, and you're actually going to move up. So I don't know that there's a financial incentive for Supercell to actually make Town Hall specific.
No, I mean,
although I do think it would be pretty cool.
It's all about the dollars, right? Like if you want the truth, follow the money.
And I understand that.
That's the truth.
And I don't have a problem with that. Another topic that was brought up in the discussion was the fact that we cannot war with our heroes when they're down. And basically the answer was, yeah, sorry, that's too much money in our what I got out of it was, I'm sorry, that's too much money in our pocket. We're not willing to give that up right now. Because I don't know about you, but if I spend gems, I would say 80%, 90% of the gems that I spend are on finishing my hero. That is the number one. That's the number one item that if I spend money, that's what I spend money on. Granted, they do
and that's why they
if I spend money, it's going to be on a hero book.
Automatically let heroes be up for FCs and everything. That's their moneymaker. It's no question, and I understand. It's frustrating, but I get it. I mean. Yeah. They're in the business of providing a fun game for us, but they're also in the business of making a buttload of money. Like that's why they're doing this and continuing to pump out new levels. They're not doing it because they want to, like, just as charity. They're doing it because it's a business for them, right? Like, you know, it is what it is. Like, this is the new style of video games. You know, like, I mean, I know console games still exist and are still thriving, but this is a new market, and this is how people are legitimately making a living, a very good living, making video games.
No, I wonder how much they make on average per clasher. I'm sure they have those numbers, but I'm curious, because if you think of your normal console game, I mean, what does a PS5 game now cost? $180, $60, $100? Then if you look at Clash, I wonder if on their average clasher, if they do anything in comparison. Like, do they make an average of $50 per clasher? I mean, because you have your whales who spend thousands and thousands of dollars a month on gems and Clash, and then you have, you know, your people who are just free to play, and then you have your people who only spend $5 a month on the gold pass. So I wonder where that average is for them.
I think you'll see they're putting out better offers more frequently, like, you know, like little small packages. You know, they have, you know, their little $2 offer, and then they have the middle packages for, you know, $5 or $10, and then, you know, the more expensive ones, you know, that are so, like, you know, there's really something for everybody. You know, if you need like a book or a potion or something, you know. And the trader shop, you know, you can spend gems in there to get stuff. So I think, you know, they're making a few dollars a day off of most people. So
that's actually all new to me. Whenever I came back, back in November, when I came back to the game, before, literally the only thing that you could buy was gems, and that was it. And it's the same price now as it was then. It's $99 or $100 US dollars at least for 14,000 gems.
Yeah, in Canada, that's I believe $139.99 or $129.99. But I mean, I've never dipped into that. I bought my fair share of gems, but I've never bought the big boy one. That's for sure.
But you save the most money. You save the most money by buying the most gems.
Yeah, but that's like the reason where, you know, you go to the liquor store and you're like, oh, I'm just going to buy a 12 case because a 24 case is more expensive, and I'm never going to drink a 24 case. But a couple days later, next thing you know, right? You're there.
You will.
You're there, right? So that's the hook.
Is it not way more fun to buy a gallon rather than a little pint?
Well, I guess too.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
There is
true.
no
That's
can't.
true.
There is only
And,
do,
hey,
Rusty.
easy come, easy
Except-
go, right? Maybe that's part of the reason I think I'm a little nervous to buy the bigger ones too, right? You buy the bigger ones, it's like, oh,
Yeah,
I could gem this done. That's not a big deal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Whereas, like,
and that is true.
it's like, yeah, well, you're gemming 3 out of
Yeah, exactly.
your 3rd out of your 8th cannon upgrade, and you have 3 free builders. But yeah, that's worth 800 gems. Yeah, that was totally worth it.
So what do you guys do? What do you spend gems on? I'm curious.
I-
Donating.
You said
Cheese. I spend
was
gems on
like,
everything.
You
I
spend
spend-
gems on cheese.
Oh. No, I'll spend like 30 on my max account without Game Pass. I'll give a
Holy
CC for like
cow.
30 gems. Go, what did I just? I could have cooked it.
Holy
I
just
with,
hit
you
it
are an
if I
with
have
my
amazing
my
max
fan,
credits.
man.
Oh,
accounts.
gosh.
Yeah, sorry. With the gold pass,
but I
I
don't-
still probably 1,000 gems a month
But-
just donating. I couldn't tell you. The only
Yeah.
thing that I ever have cooked that I donate
Oh yeah,
is, unless they have my specific army, I donate those troops. But other than that, it's just the sieges, but I don't even always have
I don't
that,
even do
right?
that.
So I just jam everything. Like sometimes it gets to the point where I could have, like, say somebody's requesting, 9 hogs, a rage, and siege barracks. But I have the siege barracks cooked, but I just go to the quick donate screen and I hit all 9 hogs and I hit the rage, and because I'm there and too lazy to click back once, I hit that 1 gem button for the siege barracks, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, so that's where all my gems go.
Yeah.
I other than heroes,
Exactly.
and I don't have any hero upgrades left on any of my accounts, I don't ever spend gems on things.
Jeez, I'll gem my army to FC. Someone goes to an FC, and my army's
because,
cooking. I'll gem it.
I'll get a tag. Oh, 16 minutes left. You have 2 hits left. Oh, crap. Well, that's 100
Yeah,
gems
well, I do
down
that
the
too.
Yeah,
hatch
that's
right
usually
there.
me tagging you, yeah.
It's like,
there went $5.
you boost, you have your army cooked, right? You get that, and you're like, there's no way you're going to be able to get both hits in without gemming, but you boost, you do the 30 gems or whatever for all of your stuff, and then it's just going to shave a few minutes off of the total, and then you have to gem all of your heroes and everything, like, last minute. Oh, it's brutal. But that's what you get for being disorganized.
Yeah.
Yeah, I generally just buy the gold pass, but I'll buy it like on 3 or 4 different
Yeah,
plans. So I'll
I know
buy
the
it on
first of
3
every
or 4
month
different
gets a little
accounts.
expensive
And then if
for
they have like
sure.
special offers, then I'll buy those.
I try to only buy it on 3, but usually by the time that the
The
month
deals.
is over, I've ended up buying it on at least the 4th or maybe a 5th account.
The worst thing is, like, you forget what account I'm on, and then I forget I don't have the gold pass, and I go and gem donations.
That's the worst.
And then I realize I spent
Well,
100
what
gems
I'll do
Welcome to
too,
Butter's World.
donating, and I'm
yeah, so I'll buy it. I buy it on Rusty, my main. I buy it on both my 13s because one of those accounts I donate them on, right? So, and then I buy it on my 10 that I'm farming. But it seems like you end up with, like, my 12 or 11 will end up in Noble Hero 2 or like Pineapple Hotel, and they'll end up there for, like, maybe Clan War Leagues or something like that. And it's like I mentioned, I don't have the patience to click back once to go donate a troop I already have cooked, let alone wait for cooked troops. So then I'm just like, screw this. Like, I'm not gonna spend a whole bunch of gems. So I'm like, I'll just spend the $5 on the gold pass, and then we're good, right? Like, so that's usually how I end up partway through the month with it, and it's purely just for the donating aspect. It's never like those. When I do that, I never end up actually completing all the challenges.
So come on, Rusty. Admit that you bought the gold pass this month. That super, super sexy Barbarian King skin. Oh my gosh. That is the sexiest skin I've ever seen.
Skins.
Right? Have you not seen it?
Yeah.
I do not get skins spending money.
At this point, with the skins,
give me a hero book. I don't. How do you? I don't even see.
I've just been basically buying the gold pass on Rusty just to get that I don't miss a skin now at this point, because I've got them all. So it's sort of like they've got me hooked.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I like the 1 gem donations, but I've got enough accounts I can deal with it otherwise, right?
But what do
You
you do
lose
with
track
the
of your
skins?
heroes
What
for
do
the
you do
first
with
like
them?
I
week.
don't know.
You put them on your
Good
die
Yeah,
and you
point.
look
as soon
at
as you
it.
switch that skin for like the first
Yeah,
week, you're like, where the hell
that's
is my
exactly.
barbarian king right now? Like, I don't know what he looks like anymore. Is that my king or is that theirs? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, and the problem is that some of
See?
them really blend into the background, so you lose track of them. Like that's why I really like the lunar archer queen one because she really
Yeah,
stands out. So like yes, I did spend the money to
yeah.
get her this time around because I missed out the first time.
Moment
How
of
much? How much did you spend on
It
that?
was $10 Canadian.
10, 10
The
bucks.
skins
You
aren't
spent
that
$10
bad
with a
for
skin.
like
Yes,
the king and the queen.
Cat.
It's not that bad, but
yes,
oh
but
yeah,
she's
she
so
she
OP.
wanders even more with that lunar skin.
I don't even know
She
how to
goes right
change
around
my
that base the
skin.
whole way. She goes into orbit instead of just walking. Yeah, but I find that it's easier to. It's not that
That's
bad
right.
to lose track
But
of them
she's
with
more OP.
warden skin, and those guys just jump over walls and follow things all over the place. You're like looking all over the map for your stuff, right? Like where on earth did he go or she?
Do these skins actually make your queen walk the right way?
No.
But that they make the king able
Wow.
to swing his
See, no
sword
use.
really good. I mean, he is a good sword swinger whenever he has on a specific skin.
The one barbarian king skin that I did buy, was it the one where he has like flames shooting out of his sword? That was a special one.
His
And then
favorite
when he
all-time one be?
uses his ability, all the little barbarians.
Would you say yours is the lunar queen that you
The
paid
well,
$10 Canadian for?
yes, and also the barbarian king one that I also
Oh,
paid $10 for.
okay. So mine, without question,
So that's
has got
$20
to
now.
be the disco
Yeah.
So we're
warden.
up to $20 on
He is
skins.
the disco warden is the best one. Like it's not even
The
comparable.
disco
That's a
warden.
lot of chicken. Oh my god.
Yeah, for warden skins,
Sorry,
yes.
I guess
Yeah,
he's
the
called the
best one.
party warden, not the disco warden. But he's the
Party
best.
I
He's
warden.
just
stayed up for
rocking around like
this.
that is a guy I could
Yeah,
hang out
the
with
party
right
warden.
Very nice. So to Supercell's credit, they do give us a ton
wouldn't hang out
of
with you.
hero potions. They give us a ton of the troop training potion. They do a lot. So I complain about heroes being down, but also honestly,
Mhm.
I think this month alone, I had access to 4 hero books. I know that there are 2 on the gold pass. There was one for like 99 cents in one of the offerings or something like that. So I kind of feel like they feel our pain, and they understand, but they're like, hey, okay, we feel your pain, but we also want you to spend some money. So let's try to give you the best of both worlds, at least if possible. And we're going to throw out those skins that Kat will spend $10 on as well.
Yeah, and and definitely
Agree. Yeah.
the gold pass
One thing I would add to that
20,
for sure
20.
though is like you
you know,
say they
like
feel our pain.
if you're farming,
The reason
Yeah.
they're doing that is because of
I
their
agree.
pain. They instituted all of these things when there was the downturn in activity and spending on Clash. Clash was going down in activity and very rapidly,
Yeah.
not making nearly as much money as they were, and it's kept them going, right? So
Yeah. So one of the reasons why I came over to Clash, I was actually a huge Hearthstone player. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of Hearthstone. It's a Blizzard product. So World of Warcraft, all of that. And
I want
they
to say
instituted.
that's what Sids used to play before Clash 2. It was something along
It-
those lines, if not.
Yeah, it started about it's so it's a collectible online collectible card game, and it started about the same time as Clash. So I've been playing it for years and years and years. But they tried implementing essentially a gold pass within Hearthstone, and they completely messed it up. In fact, they gave you less goods and made you work harder for it, and they just completely pissed off a huge portion of their player base, me being one of them. And I said, you know what? I'm going to check Clash out again, see if they have done anything different with it. Lo and behold, they have the gold pass. They have all these potions. They have these new spells and troops and everything. So that's the reason that I'm back, which is interesting.
yeah. I think that they've really done a lot of work to improve the game. Like we briefly touched on earlier in the conversation about how when we first started, it took hours to cook an army. And now, it doesn't take nearly as long. And
Yeah,
plus,
so used
there's
to, when I
potions where
first
you can
started
boost it, so
playing,
it's even
it
faster.
took something like 7 or 8 hours for your heroes to regenerate. You did not use your heroes unless it was like you had 99% and there was a troll Tesla, and then you released your king, and then the Tesla hit him twice, and it took him 2 hours to recover from those 2 hits from that Tesla. Yeah, they have changed quite a bit for sure.
It was brutal. Even as recently as a couple of years ago, it was still like we're talking an hour to 2 hours for heroes, and that was recently. But when it was first done, it was you were waiting like 8 hours, like you're saying. Like you had to legitimately plan your war attacks for I got to do one now before bed, and then by the time I wake up, my king and my queen will be ready, right? Like for real.
But looking
My
at it
army will be
too,
ready.
like to me, the reason why they did that is because it was a profit center for them. I mean, they knew that people needed their heroes to do 2 war attacks, and so people would do their first war attack and then gem their heroes finish to do their second war attack. So I think it's a moving target. I think that if the player base puts out enough complaint, I guess, about this specific topic, whether or not we can use heroes even though they're down, I think that they may try to find another way to get us to spend money, but on this one topic, they may give in eventually. I don't know. I had the thought too of what if they invented a potion where you could pop the potion and for an hour, even if your heroes were down, you could still use them.
Yeah, I don't think that we'll see that anytime soon, but I mean, it is an idea. And I mean, Darian has said that he does read the forums, and you know that other Supercell people are looking at the forums, the various forums, and monitoring, and then they probably pull ideas. What are people talking about? Because ultimately,
they've done a good job. Honestly, I am impressed with how they've adjusted the game. They've tried to match the player base's desires. Like in my opinion, the game is the best it's ever been. I mean, I don't know if we're seeing, as I talked about earlier, I don't know if we're seeing a downturn or not, but the game is way better than it was when I left in 2017. I mean, it has improved dramatically. I'm having fun with it again. I mean, we're on a freaking podcast, right? How many podcasts are starting up? Just like the old days when it was super exciting. So yeah, I definitely think it's growing for sure.
I couldn't agree more. I think the game's in the best place that it's ever been.
Yeah. So did you guys do Hog Mountain Challenge? I know it's a little late past that, but I had it down here in the notes to discuss.
I did. I did it on every single account.
It's another skin, Butters.
No, it's not. Actually, I would like to know, because I never heard back from Butters. I provided him a blueprint on how to complete the Hog Mountain Challenge. Did you complete it?
Yeah. No. I
prefer the monkey race and the witches.
I watched what you sent me, and I went,
I did it on
like I did it because I needed the. I don't remember what the reward was. I think it was the blue potions, right?
Yeah, I gave up.
Yeah, I think it was some potions. Yeah.
One of my accounts.
Yeah.
I watched a YouTube video. I believe it was Clash with Eric, or it was a different one. I watched 2 of them, but once you figure it out once, I mean, then it's easy, right? Like you just repeat it the same thing over and over again. So I did it on every single account of mine, and yeah, it was free. Free gems for the accounts that didn't need it, essentially, to sell those books, and it was good.
I liked
to get the blue potions for the accounts that did need it.
I liked it because it was like a puzzle. I did not watch any YouTube videos this time. I did the last time they did it. I did. It took me like 30 tries.
And did you complete it without it? Wow. Oh, I'm impressed. It took me almost that many to duplicate these attacks. There's no chance I would have completed the Hog Mountain Challenge without watching YouTube videos. I would not have, and if I had, I wouldn't have been able to duplicate it.
I would have thrown my tablet after 20 times.
That there is just no way.
So the thing that was really frustrating to me is I consider myself a decent attacker, and I get on chat. I get on this wasn't in Red Thorn at the time. I was actually in another clan. I get on the chat, and there's some dude that just types in chat, "Hey, I got Hog Mountain Challenge after 3 tries. Let me know if you want any advice on how to beat it." And I was like, "Really? You probably watched Judo Sloth's video on how to do it, and you're just saying that you did it in 3 tries, because that is not likely." Yeah, but they said, "Go ahead, Kat."
I mean,
Or he's Rain Man.
I was going to say what made it challenging is that you didn't have all the troops that
and very
didn't have
few
witches.
of
at your
them.
disposal.
There
They
wasn't
gave you
many
very
troops
specific
there
troops,
at all.
max heroes.
It was difficult. I watched the
No.
video and I was honestly I was a little
But
bit
it was
shocked
fun,
that he
Yeah.
could even complete it, and I was thinking
A
there's
lot of
no way
healers,
I'm even
wasn't
going
it?
to be able to complete this, even following his, because there's just no troops there. Like, they don't give you anything.
Yeah, Butters was like, "There's no witches. I'm not doing it."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way I looked at it. Oh, no way.
I really enjoyed it, and I know in
too many
Judo's
healers.
interview they were talking about it and saying that they had a lot of fun making it, and they've gotten a lot of positive feedback on them, so they do plan on introducing more like that. So I'm looking forward to that, because it adds another dimension
I
of
think that
fun
it
to the game.
encourages
Here's a
activity
little
in their
something
player
you can do.
base, and the more that the players come back, then the more likely they're going to be excited about, getting their heroes up and increasing their base and upgrading, and the more likelihood that they're going to spend money. So I think in the long run, this is definitely something that they're due, and it's something that I found a lot of fun. Definitely an interesting challenge, and it gave a nice reward at the end of it as well. So Hog Mountain Challenge. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a few rapid fire questions. Just give me something that comes to mind. Talk about it if you want, expand on it if you want. I'm super interested in what Butters is going to say about a few of these. I kind of have a feeling I know what he's going to say, but we'll see. So we'll start off with Rusty, though. Rusty, what is your favorite offensive troop in the main base?
Bowlers.
Why?
Well, you didn't say why.
I just,
you just asked me. I thought it was rapid fire. So I was like,
bodies?
"Oh, bowlers, boom, done." Yeah. So I don't know. Bowlers, truthfully, probably aren't my favorite one. Actually,
then why did you say it?
Because you said it was rapid fire. I had to get something out. I was under pressure. I'm gonna go with witches. And because I like witches because everybody hates them, and I like them, and they're good. And
it's gonna be Butters' answer.
No, Butters is gonna say hogs, because he went on this hog kick where he had to hog every base when he was at 9, even though because 9 was broken because of witches. And then 11 got broken because of witches, so he's going to be saying hogs. I guarantee it. Actually, now that I said that, he won't, but it would have been hogs.
What about it, Butters? Get it right.
Well, it wasn't going to be hogs. It would have been miners at 11, but depends on the town hall. If we're just,
that's literally his name,
now.
right?
If we're talking
Giant,
just sheer looks,
the
Giant's kind of jacked, so it kind of like Giant. If we're talking about town hall,
oh my goodness, the witch kind of looks like a witch.
Oh. Exactly. See his arms. So,
oh gosh.
Well,
chiseled.
Giants don't necessarily have
Giants
to be
for
jacked.
You, Butters?
He's actually got definition. He's not just big. Yes, exactly. No.
Interesting.
Probably because it's mainly 11 and 12 I play.
I'm going to say healer.
Does healer have offensive?
You use her on a queen walk, and queen walk is used at pretty much every town hall level from 9 up. So that's why I'm saying yes, because she is an offensive troop, because she.
So interesting fact about the healer. Back when we played 2015 and 2016, we actually tried loading up our defensive CC with healers, because there was this theory that if you put healers in your defensive CC, whenever they got triggered, they would heal the defenses that would be around your CC.
That they would heal your heroes.
Your heroes.
Yeah, your heroes.
Yes, your heroes.
Yeah.
And we thought that would be totally OP. So we did it one match or one war, and yeah, it didn't work out at all. They're absolutely horrible when it comes to that.
So I know we're speaking of offensive troops here, but And I know I've mentioned this on multiple podcasts that I've been on before, but defensively, a clan castle filled with wall breakers is one of the greatest things you will ever see. If you have not seen it, you need to YouTube it. Just for anybody listening or for any of you guys, it's the best. It's actually the best thing because why would you do that, right? So nobody's expecting it, and then these guys, they just go and they run and they just kaboom and explode. It's awesome. Like.
Do they actually do anything? Like, is it a legit
Now I
CC
have to
troop?
go watch that.
Yeah, they can. No, it's not a legit CC troop, or else you would have heard about it. Like,
that's true. That's what I was like.
Like-
Wow, this is great tip. This is appearing live just now on.
it's a legitimate troop that you can have
Pineapples
donated
and
to your
Thorns
CC.
podcast.
But that's
You hear
about
it
it.
first here.
Yeah,
Hear it first from
breaking.
Rusty.
Breaking news.
So I would have to say first thing that comes to mind for me is either witches or dragons. I hated dragons for the longest time. My dragon stayed on my Tip Dog account. My dragon stayed at level 1 all the way until Town Hall 10. I never upgraded them. I never used them. I watched one of Jake's One Hive videos on how to hog a base. I was a hogger all through Town Hall 8, all through Town Hall 9. And then a little bit in 10, I was a Town Hall 9 lifer, so I never really got into 10 that much. Now, I would have to say dragons or OP. Like, it's one of the troops that I use a lot of. So that would be my response. All right, so...
What do you use? Do you use drag bat? Do you use drag clone? What do you use?
So most of my attacks, it depends. If it's like an internet base or if it's an actual legit base that somebody stole off one of the new... esports leagues or something like that. If it's an internet base, honestly, I'll either do drag bat or I'll do witches with back end bat. I've been doing that a lot. And then if it's a legit base, dragons are still a lot of my choice, depending on the location of the air defenses, whether the infernos are on multi or single. I use dragons mostly a lot.
Are you using them at all town halls?
Yes. I don't war on my Town Hall 10, but on my Town Hall 11 and Town Hall 12, I do war.
Nobody should war at Town Hall 10. They should just skip that Town Hall.
Well, according to One Hive Eric, the absolute toughest Town Hall to war at is not Town Hall 13. It's Town Hall 10 without Siege Machine. Yeah, so.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is unless you're in a league, you can use them. So,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
good point.
But any league without any of the town halls that have access to sieges, especially 10, is ridiculous without them.
Is that in your?
Yeah, I'm in 11 no
siege
siege right now, and you get maybe one 3-star out of five.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, definitely something that I want to go over in a future podcast episode.
Yeah, that's just for separate for
people
league.
Can get involved with
KGHA. Shout out KGHA.
League play. Not a ton of information out there about that. Maybe we can get a list of clans who are willing to take tryouts. There's the Rated, for example, does all Town Hall 9 wars, and they do Town Hall 9 leagues, and then there are Town Hall 10 leagues, and so there's a lot of info out there that I'd like to get out there that I'd like to find out personally about myself as well. Very cool. Butters, what about you? What's your favorite defensive building?
Well, because I'm gonna go what I hate going against, so it would be my favorite because I hate going against it, if that makes any sense. But I like Queen Walk, so IT on single drives me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my favorite that I hate the most. Yeah.
What about you, Kat?
Scatter shots, because like at Town Hall 13, those things really pack a wallop. It's amazing how much they can just destroy a hybrid or your queen charge. I think people kind of neglect factoring those in when you're planning your attack. So yeah, scatter shot for sure.
I've gone against scatter shots as a Town Hall 12 attacking Town Hall 13s, and I've done it a few times in war, but yeah, they definitely tear my troops up. So my favorite defensive building would have to be the air defense, and the reason I like the air defense is because I like setting up my war base in a manner to where I get hit by E-drags all the time by noobs. And so I set up my air defense so that the E-drags will kind of circle around it, and they just slowly get picked off one by one by my air defense. And it's also the first defensive building that I make sure or defensive building that I upgrade whenever I go to the next Town Hall label, because I know that E-drags and dragons are the troop of choice for a lot of noobs. Mm-hmm. Anyway, if you could be any Clash character, what would you be, Rusty?
I'm going to say the giant because it'd be jacked, and I know that's what
Yeah. and you'll never be. So yeah, that's a good choice.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, probably do we get to pick like the heroes too, or no? Just a troop.
I think you can be whatever you want to be. This is role play.
Well, then I would say Barbarian King.
Oh, I took it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Butters.
I'm the king. I'm the king.
I should have picked you first. So now that you can't be the king, what are you going to be, Butters?
He's more like a court jester, anyways.
That's an idea for a new troop.
Court jester.
Yeah. What do you think? A troop that makes the heroes laugh?
Looks like Johnny Bravo.
Attacks like Butters.
So your choice is a goblin then?
Yeah. No. He took my BK. Probably hogs. Hogs are fun.
Nice. Pat?
I think the wizard, because he's pretty cool. Got great hair. He can shoot lightning out of his fingers.
So my first choice was a hog rider, and my second choice was the wizard. So I don't know who to go with now. So we're just going to go on to Kat telling us what we can expect from future episodes.
Well, really, the sky's the limit. You know,
if this episode isn't proof, I don't know what is.
You know, we have some ideas mapped out. You know, we want to focus on different attack strategies, clan structures. You know, what makes a successful clan. Want to talk about Supercell's recruiting system. Is it effective? And how are clans attracting new players? How are clans keeping players? You know, like what makes a clan successful, and why do some clans fizzle out after 5 or 6 years of being strong, and others just seem to keep going. We want people to send us ideas on what you, the listener, want to hear on the show. And hopefully we'll also end up with some special guests coming on.
Definitely. And if you guys have any ideas about people that you might want us to interview, and I'm not saying that we're going to be able to interview Eric with One Hive or Judo Sloth, but if there are people that you know of who would be interested in talking about a specific aspect of Clash, then do let us know. Do we have our email or anything like that set up yet, Kat?
The email's not quite ready, but they can contact us on Twitter at KGH Podcast, or they can hop into the Clash Files Discord server at discord.gg/clashfiles.
We definitely want to give
for sure. Both of those are great options.
Definitely. Any last words before we finish it up, Butters?
No, it was a lot of fun.
Kat?
I don't have any closing comments, just looking forward to the journey on the podcast. And I'm going to shout out some of my co-leaders at Red Thorn for all they do. In particular, I want to shout out Peter. He's a rock in the Red Thorn family and does a lot there.
Super guy.
Yep.
I got to shout out Starboard. She does everything. It helps out at PH so much and everything else. So definitely got to do a shout out for Starboard.
Rusty.
I didn't know we were doing shout outs, but I couldn't agree with Butters more. Star has been okay, so I'm gonna shout out Star actually, or Starboard. She does our Reddit, and like we have the new blood that we have gotten into the clan in the past month because of her post has been just crazy. So I'll shout out Starboard as well. I want to shout out the guys at KGH Academy, especially OU and Torhub. Those two guys, they're kicking butt. I know Forco and Butters do a lot there too, but specifically, Torhub's he's the numbers wizard, and Forco, he does. I don't know what he really does, but OU, OU is just he's the guy's a beast attacker, and he's good at helping organize and stuff too. So I want to shout out those guys. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah, Sedan. We forgot Sedan.
Definitely want to shout out Fox, who does a lot of behind-the-scenes work, and Mama Sids, who's going to be editing this podcast. Thank you guys so much, and I think that's it. Catch you guys next time on Pineapples and Thorns, Clash Files podcast.
I wanna be Barbarian. I wanna be standing tall, smashing walls, doing whatever it takes. takes to succeed. I wanna be a barbarian, like I've never coming back. Ready for war, thirsty for more. Leaving all friends.
It'd be so easy because you're so used to
Did we lose
having
him
to
again?
deal with damage.
I can hear him.
Yeah, I can hear Rusty.
I can't for some reason.
Let's pause for a second. Butters, turn off your video.
Not sure why I can't
Yeah,
hear him.
ever since you turned on your video, it messed up things for me big
Oh,
time.
I can hear
I-
you. Can hear you guys.
I think
Yeah.
are we good? I was screwing things up. Old man with the video on my ceiling. I didn't know what it was. And I didn't want to go.
Can you hear
hitting
me now,
buttons.
Tip? Tip, can you hear me now?
It's really strange though. I don't know why I can't
No,
hear
I don't
Rusty.
think-
I clearly can't.
Okay.
I think he muted me by accident or something. Like,
Did you
that's
mute
the only
him?
explanation.
Did I mute him? Let me see.
Yeah, because I can hear him. Cat can hear him.
How do I mute him? Oh,
Do I have like a line
I
through my
just
speaker thing?
unmuted him again. See if I can. No.
That's part of the outtakes.
This is where Mama Sids comes in. And she edits all this mess up.
I cannot hear him. He's not muted. He's turned all the way up.
Okay.
Standing tall, smashing walls, doing whatever it takes to succeed. I wanna be a barbarian, like I've never coming back. Ready for war, thirsty for more, leaving all fear.
Thank you for listening to our first episode. Starting a new show always has its missteps and quirks, and this one was definitely no exception. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed putting it together. We welcome all feedback and suggestions for future episodes. Send us your thoughts, ideas, and suggestions on Twitter at KGH Podcast, or join the Clash Files Discord server at discord.gg/clashfiles. Tune into our next episode where we will be discussing what it takes to run a clan, what works, what challenges leadership faces, and ongoing challenges. See you next time on Pineapples and Thorns.